This Monday on Motivation, we're joined by a friend of the house, Mr. Fola Daniel Adelesi, international keynote speaker, training facilitator, and communications professional. He's the author of more than 12 books, and today we're going to be talking about staying power. Staying power.
Yes.
It feels like there's a lot happening.
Exactly.
In business, in the world markets, around the world. There's a lot of effort you have to put a lot of effort in to find that staying power. But where do we begin?
Okay, so the first thing is to understand that we're in a tough time. And as tough as we think it is right now, it looks like it's going to get tough. The United Kingdom is being warned about the possibility of a recession. The United States has already been warned about the possibility of a recession. In Nigeria, we're technically not in a recession according to the statistics, but we're on the brink. Everybody feels it's already hard. But on the paper, we're not yet in a recession. However, it's tough. So when we talk about the staying power, what do we do in times like this when everything is hard? You think that you should have gotten this money, this business should have peaked, and people are showing interest, but there's no willpower to follow up that interest. So a lot of people are discouraged because the bills are not stopping. They keep rising. Children have to go to school. School fees is increasing. You're married. You have, spousal maintenance, if I can say stuff like that. So how do you do all of that? That's why we're talking about this staying power. So I'm thinking of it in line with a car. Cars have what they call the shock absorbers.
Okay.
When you drive on a rough road, if your car doesn't have a good shock absorber, what happens? It makes a lot of noise.
Yeah.
The car shakes. If you feel it a lot.
Yeah.
But if you have good shock absorbers, what happens? You just drive. You really don't feel it. Why? Because the shock absorbers have actually done what they're supposed to do, absorb all the shocks. So you don't get to feel it. Sometimes if the shock absorber is bad and you run through a pothole,
Yes.
you feel the pain.
Yeah.
But if it is good, you don't. So the question now is, what are those shock absorbers that we must put in place to make sure that we have the staying power through all these trying times and the challenges that we're supposed to expect? Number one, be surrounded by people. It is very important, more than ever before, to make sure that you are not lonely.
Okay.
Recently, one of us just put out the message, I feel like ending it all. And we all had to start frantically reaching out to that person to make sure that that person doesn't do anything that would be bad. So eventually we were able to reach the person and spoke with the person. A lot of people, you think that they are with you, but they are not with you. They're just there physically. They are lonely. They are not speaking up. They are not expressing themselves. So when we say be surrounded by people, it's not just to be in the crowd. It's to have people who care, who genuinely listen to you, who are interested in your well-being and say, don't worry, we're all in this together. Let me open up to you. Maybe you understand what I'm going through.
So this is not just family members you're talking about?
Not just family members, career professionals, people in your workspace, people in your business space, maybe mentors and coaches, people who have also had some similar seasons that you thought they have it rosy. But when you speak to them, they say, look, if you have an idea what I've been through, or this is what I've been through. I have a few people around me. I have some young people too, and I tell them, look, you see me on television, you see me on the internet, you see what I'm doing, but this is what is really happening. These are the things I'm dealing with. This is how I'm managing it. So it gives them strength. You know, one thing about human beings is that the challenges of other people, when they open up to us, strengthens us. We're not happy that they've been through it, but it tells us we're not alone. So you need to be surrounded by people. And more than ever before, you need to be consciously positive.
So positivity is a delicate one for the average Nigerian.
It is.
Because there's just so much happening.
I can imagine.
So many scary situations. A lot of people don't know whether their tires are going to hold getting over the Third Mainland Bridge, for instance. There's a lot of doubt out there. So where do we begin?
Like I said, one of the things is to build that positive environment. What exactly gives you that positive vibes? Whatever it is that you do, for some people it's music, for some people it's a book, for some people it's just, like I said earlier, people around them. It's different for different people. But whatever gives you that energy, that positive energy, you need to spend more time doing it. Okay. You need to consciously build it around you. If you notice that you are likely to slide once people are not around you, try and spend more time around people. Or be open enough to even say, I'm sorry, please don't leave me alone for too long. It's not weakness. It's to let them know that if you're alone for too long, something can go wrong. So if people know that you shouldn't be left alone for too long, so they deliberately start checking on you. And there are some songs that speak to our souls. I don't know if you're like that, but, you know, yesterday I just heard a particular song, and I sang it spontaneously.
Okay.
I had even started singing before I realized the lyrics were so powerful. They were really deep. So it just tells you, look, it's a phase. It's a season. It's going to come to an end. This is not the end. You know, just like we've been hearing repeatedly, this is not the end of the road. It's just a bend. But the bend can be really difficult to navigate. So whatever gives you that positive energy, make sure you spend more time doing that.
I have noted that, you know, some people have pastimes, hobbies, things that they do that not a lot of people are fans of. For instance, if a wife comes home and meets her husband in his tie, and still in his office shoes and playing a PlayStation, for instance. You know, she's gonna
what's happening.
What about me? You know, I'm here now. Spend time with me. But that might just be
a pastime or a coping mechanism.
A coping mechanism.
I'll tell you one other interesting thing while I address that. Do you know that the coping mechanism for some people is sleeping? When you see some people sleeping a lot, it's not because they are busy, they're not busy. It's not because they are lazy. They're sleeping because they are troubled, hoping that when they wake up, the troubles will be gone. So they wake up to the troubles again. They're discouraged, they're flustered. Then sometimes they go back to sleep. So if you notice people around you who are not naturally lazy, but seem to be sleeping a lot, something is wrong somewhere. So the people, now talking about the coping mechanism, some parents, their coping mechanism is watching cartoon with their children.
Okay.
So we just sit there, we're laughing with them, but they don't know what's going on the inside. But whatever at least helps you to stay on for that moment, it's important to keep doing it. If it's chatting with your wife, some people even make jokes of themselves. They laugh at themselves and say, look at me. But if it helps, keep doing it.
Okay, but we would want to add that if, you know, maybe heavy consumption of alcohol or recreational drugs is...
In that regard, I would suggest a lot of caution.
Okay.
A lot of caution.
Mr. Fola Daniels Adelesi in the building with us. Thank you so much for talking about this.
Thank you for having me.
And I feel there's still quite a lot to talk about. Staying power through all these things that we're going through. We need to find a way to stay positive. We'll be talking a bit more about this on social media. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TBC, and let's see what you think.